definitely did. We had a lot of kids just try to knock out all the provincials, right? Just do all 5 of them. But some kids also went, I'm going to just knock out sustainability right up to the top and then take my time on everything else. Right. Yeah. So my answer wasn't, I mean, we're still working on it.
It's an open place to have discussions.
Right,
That's
right.
Interesting, okay.
So...
Yeah, because I find these things hard sometimes when you really... There's 4 win conditions here, right?
Right, right. And everyone won except for one kid. We did have a kid that ended up with a D. Yeah.
Sorry, can you clarify what the first number before the parentheses means?
So this is the number that they need to badge. So in here, there are 4 different quests. To badge in it, they need to do 3 of the 4 to get to the next level. So essentially, they have to badge in all 5 provincial levels.
So that's 15 items.
Right. Right.
To fulfill that first box, that's 15 items.
Correct. And so in preparation for all of this, right, we had gone through and decided how long do we think a provincial quest should take them. So we added up class minutes, and we think that these quests should take 15 to 20 minutes. So in one of our class periods, they could easily badge in a single domain in one class if they're doing their work focused, you know, creating work that's at an appropriate level for the course. So the biggest conversation we had when we were designing the course was about grading. And what we decided was, and this was the single hardest thing for our students, to badge, your work has to be at a certain, or to finish a quest, your work has to be at a certain level. So you don't just finish something and get an A, a B, or a C on it, and then you go on your merry way. It has to be good for you to get.
For it to count it all.
For it to count.
Basically pass, fail.
So there was a lot of, this was a great start, Tim. I'm gonna ask you to go back and think about these things that we talked about and come back to me when you finish that. And that's not traditionally the way it works at Sewickley Academy. And the older kids especially, the seniors, had a really hard time with that.
So that was strictly mastery focused.
Yes, it's everything is mastery. You master the quest or you don't.
And you get all the time to iterate that you need to do it.
Correct.
Nice.
And this is another place that we were able to differentiate.
That's very different from the rest of them.
It was very different from the rest of their classes. But this gave us other opportunities to differentiate. Like I said, we had grade 9 through 12. So mastery for my grade 12 student who speaks 2 languages is in AP, differential equations, multivariable calculus is going to look different than my sophomore who hasn't taken chemistry yet because he's struggling in math and he has reading comprehension problems. So this was another way, because there's 2 of us, we're always talking to kids. We got a pretty quick grasp of what mastery might look like for different levels of learners. So, Tim's mastery might look different than my mastery on a certain quest or in a certain domain. And that helped us to differentiate for the students. But yeah, so this is what it was last year. We are starting work on the course for this year, and we've revised it. So this is just the requirements now for an A. So we're comparing this now to this. So what we're telling them now, so before, as AJ said, you needed 15 provincial quests. So now they need a total of 12. So we've dropped 3 of those. And they need to badge in all the domains, but we're requiring only 2 instead of 3 to badge. So they have some flexibility. My coworker Michael Ann is a history teacher, and she needs like everything out in numbers. because she's not a gamer. So this is just her showing that you could do 3, 3, 2, 2, 2, or you could do 4, 2, 2, 2, 2, and they would both meet the requirement.
Gotcha.
She just needed to see all the possibilities in the document. So we've reduced.
Must be some kind of different nomenclature for that first
Right.
panel.
that's Michael. I was like, that's all you need to tell them. They'll figure it out. But she was like, I need to figure it out and write it down. So we've decreased their workload pretty significantly for a couple of reasons. Our seniors leave school 2 weeks early, so we had set different requirements for them last year than for the rest of the class, and that felt wrong philosophically. If we're all gonna pass global game, we should all be doing the same amount of work to pass. And we also didn't have a lot of moments where we came together as a class to do work all together. So we're working to intentionally provide 4 opportunities for the students throughout the trimester where we all work on something together. We were calling them mini bosses, but where everyone in the class participates in, a big simulation, breakout boxes, a 4 corners debate where we can all come together no matter which domains you're working on and share our ideas and have them more intentionally start to see these connections between the domains and the divisions that they're creating. So we've reduced the workload. So now to get an A, you only need to do 1 global. We also found that the amount of time that they were spending on things was much longer than we had anticipated. Right, we thought like 3 classes for a global, but there were students who had to come back 2 or 3 times on their global quest to present them again.
Did it continue to be true that you could knock out 3 provincials in a domain in a class period?
For the most of our population, yes. For the high functioning kids who can self-monitor their time, yes. We had that one student who was sort of an outlier compared to the classmates, and it was very hard for that student to self-monitor and progress through things. Yeah.
Sorry, what kind of enrichment opportunities did the students that completed this with, early in the trimester?
No one finished early.
Oh, okay.
They were working right up to which is another reason for
changing it a little,
because they were for the seniors, their last week was rush, and even for the underclassmen, their last week was rush, get it done. And we didn't want that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are they good enough on time management that, different people doing different things at different speeds? I can imagine some people procrastination.
Sure.
And then the rush at the end ends up being everybody. And some people get lost on that. But
our seniors were the biggest procrastinators. Shockingly, it was the last trimester of their senior year. We have an internal system at our school where we can send updates home to the student's advisor and their parents and the student. So because we were keeping track of everything, after the second full week of having the course, we had a pretty good sense of, AJ's on track, Tim's on track, Tracy's not on track. So we sent notes home and then had meetings with each kid. I've noticed that, in the last 3 classes, you've only finished 3 provincials. AJ, you're a senior. This isn't the rate that this should be happening. What's going on? What's the plan? So again, because we were so small and there were 2 of us, it was really easy for us to manage that with individual conversations and notes home.
You said you had how many kids?
12. Yeah, and we have, I think, 12 again this year.
Yeah, because that's a lot of management on your part.
Yes, and sometimes it's a class of doing almost nothing except checking in on kids and looking over their shoulder at what they're doing. And sometimes it's a class of nonstop conversations because everyone has finished something at once. Yeah. It was a lot of fun though. Any other questions about that right now.